Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce's Let's Talk Business podcast. And you guys know I always say we have a very exciting show for you today. It's because we do. We have a very exciting show for you today. I'm very excited. And you'll be able to tell for yourself when I introduce our guest to you. We're celebrating Black History Month. February is designated as Black History Month, but Black History Month is 24/7, 365. So we're going to get started. First of all, I would like to make an announcement that one of the guests that we have with us today she's not first time guest, but she is the newly appointed advisory board chair for Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, and we are super excited to have her on board with us. She's a wealth of information. She's just a go-getter, and she just gets it done, and all those things. So deserving of that title. I am very happy to have met her. But I believe that it was a divine appointment. It was not by accident. And then, of course, we have the one and only Miss Latasha Holmes. This lady here, I mean, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, such a pillar in the community. I call her a pioneer woman. I say that she's a pioneer woman. And then, of course, we have Javian Jackson,
Hello.
aka JV, who is a regular on the show once a month with Amaco Federal Credit Union, who are our President's Club members and have been with us. We're into our second year now.
Yeah.
So those are our guests. That's who is on our panel today. But I would first like to introduce you to Latasha, and we're going to get her to tell us who she is and just to tell us a little bit about herself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Latasha, as she said. I am from Galveston County. I was born there, but kind of not raised there. I traveled. My dad was in the Army, so I lived in Germany. I got to go to Italy.
Oh, wow.
I lived in Georgia, so I been around.
Okay.
I am a nurse practitioner. I've been in the nursing field for 14 years. I'm a single mother with 2 daughters. And I just opened my own pediatric practice in Webster, Texas.
Yes. Kudos to you. Tell us, as a single mother of 2 daughters, the owner of a pediatric clinic, how do you juggle? How do you find balance? I guess is what I want to ask you, between daughters, which I know is first and foremost, and then practice, and then find time for you. You know, because most times at the end of the day, as moms, we're depleted at the end of the day.
So depleted.
So how do you find the balance and all that and make it all work?
It's hard work, definitely, especially when you have a 4-year-old.
Okay.
Now, since my practice is after hours, my 14-year-old comes there. I have taught her how to be a CNA.
Oh,
So she know how to take blood pressure. She know how to give shots. She knows how to ask questions, and also know how to write a H&P. My 4-year-old also comes there, so she'll spend some time with me there. So we do family time there if I don't have any patients.
Okay.
She even know how to answer the phone. as a 4-year-old, y'all be surprised. She'll welcome you into the clinic, and my mom will be with you.
Okay. Shortly, huh?
Yeah. So I really at home. I really set time for my girls. We'll have a moment. I always ask how their day was in school. I try to donate a lot of time with them because I know I live a busy life, and I just don't never want them to feel behind.
Right.
And my friends help me have this outlet, my sister and everything, where I can get a peace of mind and have some me time too.
Yes, and some downtime.
And some downtime.
And some wine time.
Oh yeah, I know. I put wine time in between a lot.
Yes, that is super
Yes.
exciting. I know that has to be you have to kind of fine tune that thing and then tweak it and say, okay, this works, a little more of this and a little less
more
of that.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. I had to involve the whole family so we can all still have that time together.
Yeah, that's important, and that's how it works, and that's how you're able to achieve the end goal, which is success, and
yes.
prosperity and wealth and all those great things.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So, Miss Angela,
Ma'am.
Tulsa, Oklahoma native.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're a lifetime member of the chamber, and you have your own business, your own consulting company, and advisory board. And tell us what it is that drives you to transitioning to go so much more into current consulting agency.
Oh, but that's been a lifetime vision and passion for me forever. So I'm a CPA, a career and life coach, and I follow my heart. And the one thing that I've always wanted to figure out is how do we do this thing called work to where it doesn't feel like such a burden. We come here with our gifts and talents and things that sometimes we're aware of and most times we're not. We can kind of fall into agendas and things or other people's agendas or things of what they think that we should be doing. But really, truly at the core, when I find I'm at my most happiest and most peaceful, is when I'm doing things that I'm naturally gifted in doing that come very easily for me. And so I was like, if I could figure out a way to bring that blessing to other people in the world in a very real way, then how can I do that? And so that's how the career consulting came about for me, is to see that vision come to life in a very real way. I love understanding people's stories and how you got to be where you are, and then maybe we can tweak it a little bit and put some things together that makes more sense for you, reduces stress for you, so where the work feels more like breathing success.
Yeah, and it's funny how we talk a lot about when it's your passion, it's not work.
It's not work.
When it's something that you do that you love so much, you'll do it for free.
That's
We don't want to do it for free, of course,
No.
but you when you're driven to something and you say your passion and you give birth to that thing.
Yes.
It's not work, and you have such good stuff that has so much value. You just want to spread it. You just want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Thank
That is awesome. So Javian,
Hello.
aka JV, you are dealing with community financial education. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Share a little bit about how and why that's important to us and in our community as you represent Amaco Federal Credit Union. And let me just first say I love the Amaco, a member-owned
cooperative organization.
And I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And Amaco is member-owned. And I tell people
right.
all the time that with me having a postal background and the environment being so toxic, you've heard the stories going postal and all that.
Yes.
And so when I passed cross with Amaco, I was amazed at how the employees would always say, I love this job, I love this company, I'm never quitting. I'm never going to leave this job. And
Very true.
You hear it over and over and over. And I could go on and on about Amaco. I'm so fascinated with the video banking that blew me away, and it's with me today because I'm like almost like dinosaur in technology. But tell us a little bit about the financial community connection that you guys are into and that are spreading in our community.
Yes. So I do business development for the credit union, and a big part of my job is making sure that I get into the community and everybody has a financial vision for success.
Okay.
It's important to us because financial literacy isn't it's not a subject that's what I can say, we don't use it often in a lot of households. So what Amaco does, we make sure that we go into those communities. We share financial literacy, such as building a better budget, how to build credit, how to prepare yourself to purchase your first home. So we make those a popular subject in our community. So it's definitely important to us because it gives our members and the people in our community a vision of where they want to go.
Can you talk a little bit about when you speak in terms of financial literacy? I think that you guys have something in place for children that teach them at a very early age, because we talk on the show all the time about my mom didn't teach me how to save, but I understand that my mom can't teach me what she doesn't know, and I understand the importance of planting that seed now with our children to see how money works, how money flows. So can you talk a little bit about a program or programs that you have in place that teach children's financial literacy?
Of course. One good example of what I've done just a couple of days ago in Dickinson ISD for a group of high school kids who are seniors. So we have the subject of building a better budget. And like I said, if you don't have that coaching in the house, this is where Amaco comes in. And we give them an opportunity to get that vision and know how to use their bank accounts successfully, when to spend, how to say no when different events appear in life. I always teach the kids that no can be a very powerful word when it comes to saving, because you're going to get invitations from friends, families all the time, and that's where it's going to be important for us at. Also, I went to an elementary today before I came here, and they just have the teachers have different visions for the kids, and what we do is we support different grants that they would like to have to help educate the kids and just keep those dreams going for them.
I think that's very important, and we talk about planting the seed and laying those foundations for our children, because I remember my daughter said to me several years ago, she was like, "Mom, thank you so much for teaching me how to tithe." She said, because my friends, they're like, we don't tithe, we don't do that. And, because it was planted, it's something that continues. You give God the first fruits of your labor, and then it just makes your stuff overflow. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that foundational, those things that we lay, the cement that we lay on those strong foundations that are unbreakable, and it just grows up with them.
Yeah. It definitely gives us that confidence that we all need.
Yes. So Miss Tasha, you are the first Black woman to open and own and operate a pediatric clinic in Webster, Texas, Galveston County. What does that feel like?
I've been asked that particular question a lot. It feels surreal.
Okay.
It feels like what I've always prophesized about.
Wow.
That to be in the moment of it. I always wanted to do something very impactful, and I did. So I'm still in this feeling and still in this belief. I just went on to the video last night at my house just because these people drove from Baytown yesterday to see me. They wanted someone that looked like them to see their baby. This lady who moved from Michigan and she lived in Humble. She's like, I want to see you. I said, I stay far. Like, my clinic is really far from Humble. She said, I will drive. I want my kids to see someone that looks like me. So the impact that I feel like I'm making, just being open since November, I'm loving it.
Yeah, and I think about your two daughters. I hear you say I'm a single mom, and your two daughters. But do you even realize that for as much as you are a role model for your daughters, do you even realize how much of a role model you are for those that don't even know you? For those that can look at you and see what you're doing and say, if she did it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
I get so many messages. Right now, my big goal for myself, for my birthday present to myself, I want to impact 30 women's lives that I actually touch. Yes, I know I impact them from afar because they see some of my story, but that I actually help them to be a better them or to help them progress in what they want to do. And I think I know I got 15 already. Okay. And so, but that's my 16. 17.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I truly, when you go back to, people finding their passion in what they do, I'm in love with my career. Like, I'm truly in love with it. And so that's why I do it with ease. So that's where I'm at with it.
So when's your birthday?
May 31st.
Okay, so we got time. We got time, and she's already at the halfway mark. Okay, so talk a little bit. You mentioned you've had people call you and say, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm driving. I don't care where you are." How does that make you feel?
It brings tears to my eyes. And I let them know, I was like, this is a very emotional for me for you to drive an hour. And I'm after hours to come and see me. Yeah. She was like, yes. I was adamant.
I've seen some of your posts where you've got pictures with you and the babies, and little bitty babies are looking up at you like just like in awe. This lady will give me a shot. I don't care. Just give me the shot. Just give me the shot. And so I think about that. I hear you say, your story, and it speaks volumes that whatever you set your mind to do, you've accomplished. I mean, I remember being at your ribbon cutting, and the guy that gave you the gift, that was the little baby T-shirts.
Yes.
With I Care Pediatrics on
give
them.
Everybody that came.
Yeah. And so he spoke, and he says, I don't know how you do it. He said, everything you said you wanted to do, you did it. And he was like, I don't know how you do it, but imagine this is a grown person, and your story and your drive and your tenacity and all of those things have inspired him, to do what he does. Like, yeah. God, Tasha did it,
Yeah.
so I can do that thing too. And so with your clinic just being open since November, what lessons have you learned? What has been your hardest challenge? Because you just keep kicking the walls down. You just like, hey, So what is the hardest lesson that you've learned?
The hardest lesson is it would have to be understanding time. Okay. I think a lot of us take time for granted. I feel like having less time to put into my practice make me have to work more. Meaning, because I do work during the day at another practice, and then I work at night at mine. So I'm very conservative on my time. So that was a big lesson to learn. Also, understanding, like, I financially support my own practice. Wow. Me teaching myself how to do my own credentialing for insurance. I did all that myself. Me being the biller as well, getting on the phone with the insurance companies and asking why this claim hasn't been paid has been a learning process for me. But I'm learning it, and I'm love that I'm learning it, because when I do get big and I do have people coming in doing these things, I understand, and I'm not getting taken advantage of. So all of it is a learning process, and I'm still in the learning process. I got my first insurance check the other day, and I was super excited. I was like,
this is working. Yes.
So, but yeah, it's all learning. It's a process. I understand it, and I'm learning patience.
Okay. Patience as in patient, or patience as in learning to be patient? Or
learning to be patient.
Okay.
Learning to be patient.
Okay. Especially when you're waiting on a check. You just got to wait till they...
Yeah.
You just got to wait till they send it. You
right.
Know what I'm saying?
Like, okay.
So, Miss Angela, newly appointed advisory board, what does that feel like to you? And I know that you're a thinker. I know that you're a forward thinker. And I know that that's not a role or a position that you take for granted. And what have you thought about? What are you going to change? What are you going to implement? What are your thoughts on chairperson for the advisory board of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, which is huge because we serve 12 counties. We're in 4 regions and we serve 12 counties. So that just goes to show you how wide our reach is. So as you sit in that advisory board chair seat, what does it mean to you? Were you surprised? And tell us a little bit about what that's like.
I was very surprised, and I'm very honored to assume the role.
Okay.
So you think back to the first time that I was here, and I shared that I was excited to be able to be in a position with a group of people and an organization where I felt that all of my gifts and talents could be fully utilized. Okay. And I meant that when I said it then, and I certainly mean it when I say it now. I have more than 20 years of background and professional background in accounting and project management, And so all of that comes to fore for me here in this new role. So the first thing that I would want to do is, of course, reach out to all of the members on the advisory board and to get to know them personally and to see what their challenges, concerns, ideas that they may have that they would like to see implemented on the board, and plan more regular meetings and interactions. We're planning to have our first in-person meeting here at our member center on March 17th. So my plan is to reach out to all of the advisory board members and talk to them personally, get on their calendars to have a conversation to see what they would want to talk about when we come together in person. So it'll be a learning process for everyone, and I'm here for it. I say that all the time.
Yes.
I'm willing to be on a discovery mission to see how we can best see what we have, the resources and tools that we have currently, and how we can elevate, expand, change, incorporate, whatever it takes in order for us to be a successful, cohesive, organized, effective unit. Starting with communication, regular communication, I think is very, very important.
For the short time that I've known you, I've noticed and I've seen how, you know, you say all the time where you don't micromanage. You don't micromanage, and so that's a word for somebody. If you're listening to us right now, are you gonna look at are you gonna be able to view the audio? But that's a lesson, because when, like you've said to me so many times, you know, okay, you are hired for that position, then do the job. I don't need to stand over you. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot, because it speaks volumes to, look, I trust you. Just get it done, and you know, get it done in a way that, you know, that works for everybody. And so I see and I hear you bringing that to the advisory board, because and I hear team. I hear you say all the time, there's no big eyes or little you. There's no eyes in team, you know. And when and even with Tasha, when Tasha said, you know, I've taught my daughter. You know, my baby knows how to say, my mom will be with you in just a moment. You know, a professional at 4, okay? You know, and so when we're training them up, I keep going back to that, because that is huge right there. You train them up, and you just never know. If they see mom doing this, they see mom juggling this, and that gives them the belief that they can do it, or even wanting to show mom, see mom, I can do this too, you know, and that means a lot to children that are growing up in a home where you are like so super busy. Okay, so back to you, JV. Tell us about what Amaco has going on in under your wing, what you guys are doing, if you have anything that's coming up, and what can we look forward to seeing from you and Amaco.
Sure, you can look forward to seeing my face a lot more in the community.
Okay.
Of course, I mean that's my whole thing, is being in the community.
Right.
Whether it's doing sponsorship, donations, volunteering my time to support what another nonprofit organization has going on. One of the great things that you can look forward to is you can look on our website, amacofcu.org, and you can learn more about our financial literacy that we have to offer, which is going to be free for all of our members. So once you become a member, you also have the opportunity to tune into our seminars that we have, especially our partners. We have partnerships that we start with different organizations and businesses, and that's a luxury that they have. We have the opportunity to bring the credit union to you, okay, and also the luxury of having a financial seminar with you guys, you know, going on the subjects that I told you about. So those are some of the things that you can look forward to. Amaco is never ending with the support that we have. So we're very opening to see what partners out there are willing to connect with us. So at your convenience, feel free to contact me.
Feel free to contact Javian Jackson, Amaco's Culture and Communications Manager, is it?
Coming soon.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Manager position coming soon to Amaco near you.
Business development officer.
Business
development officer. I love it.
Yes. Okay. We have such a great relationship with Amaco. Tri-County does, and you know, we've even had the CEO, you know, sit right here, and
he's awesome, right?
He is so down. He is so real, and even the other gentleman that was a guest on the show that was the financial somebody, and he was like, hey, you need money, you call me. What's his name?
We've had a few, was it Mike Payne?
No, not Mike.
Not Mike.
Not Mike. It's the guy who, he's something with finance something. And he talked about mortgages a little bit. He talked
Eddie.
What's his last name?
Bonilla?
Yes.
Was it Eddie Bonilla?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so, Amaco, as I mentioned earlier, is a President's Club member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, and I love the relationship that we have developed, and we've just made connections that have been amazing. Amaco also support. I have a nonprofit organization, and Amaco, and we distribute scholarships to deserving high school seniors, and Amaco was gracious enough to donate $4,000 to us, and so we were able to send, to help send some children to college that were, deserving and well on their way, and so.
And that was a great event too, especially to learn that one of the young ladies was, top of her class.
Yes.
And accomplishing so much,
Yes.
what she was headed towards doing. So I definitely believe in what those students are going to do and what they said they're doing.
Yeah, and it's exciting because just like you mentioned, the lady that she graduated with her diploma and her associate's degree. She's going into nursing, and so she went in as a sophomore, and she was just doing it. She was just making things happen like a little Latasha. She's just making some things happen.
I love it.
So Amaco's been great. It has been a very, very good relationship. I'm gonna pause for a second and thank our sponsors, Amaco Federal Credit Union, Quality Precision Coating, and the Linwood Group. They are President's Club members of Tri-County, and also want to plug GMT Radio. He's known as Nice. His name is Kenji. I love his name. I love Kenji. I love that. And as Howard always says, we call him Nice because he's just nice with it. He is doing major things in the media, in media technology. If you're needing a podcast for your business, if you're needing a commercial, if you're wanting to do a segment on a cooking segment, they have even had line dance classes. So yes, whatever you need, GMT Radio, you can reach them at www.gmtradio.com. Awesome. He is a genius at what he does. So make sure if you're looking to gain some exposure for your business, make sure you check them out. Very good resource to have in your business arsenal. So, Tasha, I'm gonna go back to you. Talk a little bit about in hindsight. Eye Care Pediatrics is here. It started out as an online company or business, and now you're brick and mortar. And with having said all of that, in hindsight, what would you do different?
What would I do different? I think I would have really pushed my virtual clinic more.
Okay.
Just so I could have built more patients that way.
Okay.
Instead of just, going straight and open it, because I've been working in the medical center doing what I do for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in the county that I really live in. So they know me, but they don't know me in my practice.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my patients from where I work at now, they drive to see me too. So I think if I would have pushed my virtual clinic more, I wish I would have been more involved in the community earlier,
Mm-hmm.
letting them know, hey, this is coming, I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
I think that's what I would have done different.
Okay.
So when I have people reach out to me and they have ideas of doing virtual clinics or ideas of opening their clinic, I have so many people reach out to me. I tell them my story and, hey, this is what I suggest for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I recommend. It's hard, especially, trying to get business loans and everything. It's a struggle, but it's doable.
It's doable and it's working.
And it's working.
And it's sustaining you for now, because I can remember at the ribbon cutting when one of the guys that one of the gentlemen that was there, he said, Miss Holmes, he said, I see you owning this entire building.
Yes. And that will happen.
It will happen.
Yes.
It will happen. It will happen. And you know, oftentimes I tell people that God is very strategic. And you know, just like you may write a prescription to take as needed or to take as prescribed, I think that God does that in our lives. He can't give us too much too soon. We just get beside ourselves. You know, like Pastor said, if God just blessed you so much, you stop coming to church.
I know.
You know, my pastor says that. But I think that everything that you're experiencing and everything that you're going through in the right now is a growing pain to the journey to where God is taking you.
Yes.
You know, and I just think that just little by little, just little by little, you are gonna be there, and I'm looking forward to. I'm cheering you on from the sidelines, and I'm looking forward to just passing by there, and yeah, it's all up in lights,
Right.
I'm like, do you need me to just stand at the door and just pass out and
Yes,
something?
yes.
You know?
I mean, my practice found me. The location literally found me. The guy called me. I never passed down that street to look for a place. I only envisioned that I wanted a pediatric practice across the street from an elementary school, and that's what I got. God gave me my vision. I'm sitting in my vision.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That is so amazing. And I think about, you know, when you say, but I'm gonna let you tell the story about why did you decide to make an after hours clinic?
Because
that was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
That was straight brilliant. I'm just like, hey.
When you are working parents, either father, mother, it's hard. It's 9 to 5. That's the most of the everybody work. Get off at 5 or get off at 3. Clinics close at 5, so you always have to use a vacation day or a sick day to take your kids to the clinic. And I didn't want that. I want to be flexible. I want to be there for my community. I want to be there for parents like me that has kids and trying to juggle everything and still want to be at their doctor's appointment, you know, and not put the stress or burden on anyone else to do those things. So, but yes, that's why.
And I was thinking, like, that came from her own experience as a mom. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have to take off work. And JV, you can identify with that with 3 babies, you know, and having to take off for this doctor's appointment. You know, I had my baby sick. My baby got a fever. I can't come in. You know, and so to be able to go and then, you know, like our babies, well I'm speaking my age now, but when my babies were children, they may have fever at night. You know, you can't get that fever down, but in the morning it's gone. You know, you sitting in the doctor's office and there ain't no fever.
Right? You took off the next day.
Yeah, and you've taken off for it. And so when I was thinking after hours, wow. When you just think about that, you could tell that some thought and some prayer and all that went into that to make it happen. Talk a little bit about the uniqueness. What is unique about Eye Care Pediatrics?
Besides my passion for children, when you come to someone, I'm big on breaking things down for my parents to understand. You know, and starting that bond with them and starting that communication and giving them real life situations and scenarios. I literally, on my video I made, I do become a part of their extended family. A lot of my patients have my personal phone number, so if they going through something, they will call me. You know, my teenagers, they come and see me without their parents. You know, like my 17-year-olds that's off to school. No, Tasha, I can't leave you. You the person. How am I gonna talk to someone else? So it's just being that avenue for them to have an outlet and for someone to, you understand where I'm coming from, you know, and not pushing it off. Oh, it's fine. They just have congestion. You know, let's look at other things that can be causing it because we want to know the cause, right?
Right.
So I like to break it down, explain it to parents, and explanation goes so far with someone.
When did you know? When did you know that you knew? Because when I talk with Angela, is a certified public accountant by trade, but she talks about the passion of her consulting. And then I think one of our guests asked her one time, oh, so you're a CPA? You were like, She, and so you can tell that it's something internal going on with her. And then you have children, you have people that say, I knew when I was 5. I knew that I wanted to do this when I was at 5. Not me. I didn't know hell when I was 25. You know what I'm saying? So when did you know that this was something that you wanted to do, that you knew you were going to be?
I knew my vision on how I progressed in life started at age 7.
Okay.
When I knew that I wanted to help people is when I was admitted to the hospital when I was 10 years old for asthma.
Okay.
And the first person I was like, who is this? It was a nurse. And she was so nice, and so I was like, I want to help people. I always love helping people. I'm just a people's person.
Mm-hmm.
From that moment, that's what I went for. That's what I strove for. That's what I pushed for. Ever since I gave up my 20s to be in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just dedication and hard work.
Yeah, and
it pays off too.
And
it pays off.
Yes,
it pays off at the end.
Yes, because I remember when you said the dedication, and I gave up my 20s. It's like you was just like that was not as important as the goal, the end goal of where you were trying to go, and you've been able to accomplish all those things, and so you knew at 7. I mean, how many people know? And I've heard people say, if I was 5 and I knew I wanted to be a doctor, I was fascinated with how the body worked. It's like being a body mechanic, like a car for a car mechanic. He was fascinated with how the body worked, and so I just knew when I was 5. And you hear people say, well, I just knew because I had a fascination with taking things apart and putting them back together. And so when I see your journey, and I promise you don't look like what you've been through. Okay? You do not look like what you've been through. And we celebrate you. I celebrate you. I'm happy to celebrate Black History Month with you. Latasha Holmes, the managing member of Eye Care Pediatrics in Webster, Texas. Tell us a little bit about how we can find you, your website, your phone number, those kinds of things.
Okay. So you can find me at www.eyecarepediatrics.com. That's my website. I'm located in Webster, Texas. Our address is 218 West Nassau Parkway, Webster, Texas 77598. And our office number is 832-284-7083. Again, we are about to have morning appointments available and evening appointments available for our parents. They can get vaccines, they can get tested for flu, COVID, strep, everything. You can get everything done there.
Just a regular one-stop shop. And even for adults, and I saw you're advertising that you do COVID
testing for adults. I can. PCR and rapid. Yes.
So tell people that don't know, well, I know now, but what PCR is.
PCR is the one that is sent off to the lab that they grow. It has to grow. Whereas the rapid is done in the office, results are in like 10 minutes. Okay. So the PCR usually takes about 20 to 48 hours. Some laboratory, the one that I particularly use is a 24-hour turnaround.
Okay. So if you're in need as an adult, are you bringing the baby to get to find out about the ear infection and get the antibiotics? You can also get your COVID test.
Okay. Yes.
Skip some of those long waiting lines too.
Yes. Right? You don't have to be in those wait lines.
Yes. So Ms. Angela, as CPA, talk a little bit about. We haven't talked about current consulting. Let's talk about your baby.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My passion. I am actually a certified coach in career consulting. I do abilities testing. And I've done that for years, off and on. Worked with, when I was in Atlanta, worked with the YMCA and did career fair for them to do some testing for them. So the big thing is creating the communication and connection with people and having a conversation. A lot of times, people want to think that it's like with you with a prescription. It's similar but different. So a lot of times people don't know what they don't know, and they don't know in the conversation, when I'm listening to you and having a conversation with you, I'm looking for certain cues and clues as to what could be the issue. So it's problem solution. What kind of solution can I bring to you? What kind of solution that maybe you haven't considered or don't think that there's any value to it? So a lot of times I find that people don't realize that the things that you do easily and effortlessly are your gifts. So we strive so much to try to be what we're not. We strive so much to try to learn a skill that will always be a struggle. Well, there's a multi-billion-dollar industry on self-improvement and things you're not good at. So why not flip the script, turn the page, and why don't we focus on what it is you really are good at already that you think there's no value to? And so when I put it like that, I'm like, well, wait a minute, really? Yeah. And why don't we find that out and then monetize it? How about that? So then, and the motto on my website, when you go to currentconsultingco.com, is I believe in having you walk and talk and breathe success. And what that means is there's no struggle. There's no resistance. There really is truly, you were gifted and talented when you have certain tools in your toolkit. So I'm going to help you to go in there, open it up, and pull those tools out for you to use them in a practical way.
And so talk a little bit about the assessment. So it is the toolkit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you speak in terms of the toolkit and the assessment and being able to zoom in or hone in on what it is you're really good at, talk about the assessment thing and what that could mean. When you say, and it can be something that can turn into money and financial gain for you.
Definitely. So natural abilities mature by the age of 14. So I don't work with anyone younger than the age of 14. So my primary audience are parents with children that are trying to figure out what track to put them on, that are getting ready for college, and then mid-career changers, people that are already out there, they've got a skill, they're working in their industry, and they're frustrated. So the tendency is to turn the whole apple cart over, throw the baby out with the bathwater, to start over.
Well, when you think out with the bathwater, I love it.
But when you think in terms of Pareto, when you think in terms of the 80-20 principle, really truly, 80% of the result of anything you do is going to come from 20% of your effort. The key is to know what the critical 20% is to change. So if you don't know what the critical 20% is to change, you could flip everything over upside down all around again and end up in the exact same spot you were. Same thing, different day, because you didn't know what you needed to change for the result that you were seeking. So that's what I look to hone in on. So there's a difference between the natural skills and abilities that mature by the age of 14, and then there's skills that you do learn out in industry. There's certain things that you do learn as you move out into this world. The difference is once an ability matures, it never goes away. Versus a skill is something that's not natural for you, something you struggle with, and you'll always have to refresh your mind. You'll always have to remind yourself. You'll always have to get retrained in it. So we take, particularly with my adults that are mid-career changers, we take that skill set that you've learned out into the world, and then we combine that and put more emphasis on your natural gifts and talents and find that middle ground where you can combine the both. Because nobody really wants to start over from ground zero, especially if you're mid-30s, mid-40s. I'm not going back to being an intern. I mean, I'm not doing that. So how can I look at where I am currently, and how can I tweak and make those changes so that maybe I could make some tweaks and changes currently where I am that I didn't see that would give me some career satisfaction even where I am. And even once you make those small career changes, if you find, okay, I've made this change, I'm still not satisfied, then you start looking out into other options and possibilities. But life meets you where you are. 9 times out of 10, we don't realize, one of my favorite orators was, he has an audio book called Lead the Field. And he spoke on Earl Nightingale, and he spoke on this thing called acres of diamonds. And a lot of us don't realize that we are already surrounded by acres of diamonds, but we don't sometimes have the eyes to see. And sometimes it takes someone else that has a different perspective, a different view, that wants to support you in your journey to help you to point out to the acres of diamonds that are around you. So that's what I love.
Tell us about as the assessment. Okay, tell us about a client that you encountered where, as a result of the assessment, and that it was this huge eye opener for them. Like, wow, because I'm hearing you say nothing changes if nothing changes.
This is true.
You know, and so tell us a little bit about a client that went through your assessment, and when the light bulb came on, what did you get from that client that I'm sure was life changing?
I had a client whose job was on the line.
Okay.
He was noted for his ability to work with his customers, but he was horrible with his paperwork.
Okay.
And his leadership was ready to, like, well, he's really good, but he's causing us all these other problems with the back things slipping through the cracks. We can't seem to get him to do what we need to do so that we can do what we need to do on the back end. I mean, literally, his job was on the line. So what he did not realize was that he was very auditory. So again, going back to Pareto, 80% of the things you encounter most day to day, you can ignore. You don't have to take everything in and remember and regurgitate everything you see, but you need to have the mind to know what that 20% is you need to recall. So with him, we realized in his testing that he was very auditory, but he didn't have the ability to remember what he read. So I said, listen, take a break. I need you to use your phone or get you a body recorder. And when you know that this is something I'm going to need to recall, speak into it, play it back to yourself a couple times, and then let's talk in a couple of weeks. And that one change helped him with his paperwork. He was never going to be able to do the paperwork. He was never going to be able to do it. But when they realized that, I said, look, if there's something that you need him to recall, don't send him an email. Don't send him an email. He's not going to get it. He's not going to hold it. He's not going to recall it. You need to talk to him. You need to leave him a voice message, and he needs to listen to himself saying something a couple of times. That shifted the whole work environment. That took his job off the line for him. That one change.
Solutions.
Problem solution.
Love it.
You know, JV, as Angela was giving us that illustration, I see you sitting there going.
I was looking for my pen and pad.
What was it about what she said that zeroed in on you to say, yeah, like I know a little something about that. Share with us.
Yeah, I mean that's important to me because everybody learns differently.
Yes.
And I believe that no one gets to where they are without having some type of success and working towards it. And whenever you get to a different level of your job, things can get challenging, right? But you have to take that opportunity to learn how you can successfully move forward with any challenges that you have. And those challenges can be like you get so many emails a day, you know. So how do you balance out of these what's highly important out of these hundreds of emails that you're receiving? And that's a great solution. Is by recording what's going to be most important, what's going to be top priority. Because we need to attack those important things first part of the day, right?
Yes.
So I thought that was a great solution.
Wow.
And another thing that was very important to me, what stuck out to me, is when you said the 80-20.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. The 80-20.
You know, 80% of what you're doing comes from the 20% effort that you give. So
it does.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
But if you don't know, that's what's key.
Yeah.
That's the key component to the solution part.
Yes.
Because if you don't know, you don't know. But it has to be something that has to be recognized, or in order for you got to be able to figure it out, or through her assessment that okay, this is where I'm missing it. This is when, and so once that's been determined, and like a what is it they say in the medical field? It's not analysis. It's something when you figure out what it was, what's wrong with the child.
You mean diagnosis?
Yes. When you and so once you diagnose, thank you. Yes, when you diagnose what the problem is, like your client, he was not connecting, and you know when you spoke on the emails, you know you can be bombarded, and I'm guilty of half reading an email. I'll see an email and I'll open it and I'll say, well, I'll read some of it, but not inclusively, and then I'll get back to it later. And sometimes later doesn't come.
Yeah, because you already opened it. You forgot. It'd be like, oh, I didn't respond to that.
Yes. Or you responded to an email, you never press send.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that also. You know, so wow, it has been a very exciting show, as I promised. I told you. I told you it was going to be a very exciting show. We're winding down. We're celebrating February as Black History Month, and um, GMT Radio and Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. You can find us at tcbcc.org. If you are a new business, if you are a seasoned business, if you're looking to get started, if you're needing exposure, if you're needing a huge, I tell everybody all the time that Tri-County is a valuable resource to have in your business arsenal. I tell people that all the time. Sometimes you need somebody to call that's not going to give you a textbook answer, and you don't need Google. You need a person to say, no, don't do that, JB. That's not going to work. You know, you just need somebody that can help you. Tri-County is also very, very, very well connected in the community and international. We are getting ready to embark on our trade mission. We'll be heading out to Belize. Oh. And yes, we're heading to Belize, and I am very excited. This will be my second trip to Belize, but I've never been on a trade mission. Okay, and so I'm excited with what's to come, learning how to do importing and exporting with abroad. You know, we have our hotel that's in the works of building, and I'm looking forward to my boutique being on the first floor, you know, and just exciting things that are coming. I can't tell y'all too much, but exciting things that are coming through the pipes with Tri-County. And so, again, we are one chamber that serves 12 counties. There is no other chamber of commerce that serves 12 counties. And let me add that every county in the 4 regions, there is someone who is right there just waiting for you to call. There's a vice president that is very, very capable to assist you in whatever you need. I tell people all the time, you can call me early, you can call me late. It's not a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday thing, you know. So if you need me, you can call me early, you can call me late, you can call me weekends, you can call me holidays. And so there is no other chamber of commerce that does that. And I am so proud to say that I am a part of an organization that are doing things, that are movers and shakers, and we're not a social organization. We're about, no, how do you take your business to the next level? Show me the money, you know, the procurement opportunities. We have a trucking and a construction alliance, and with all of the money that is on these highways and byways, with TxDOT being one of our strategic partners, and them saying like, hey, all the construction that you see in Texas is a TxDOT project. So if you're interested in the trucking industry, if you're wanting to know how to get started, if you're interested in just finding out, you know, call us. We can help you get some insight on that and just show you how to get going. Also, we have resources to help you to stop you from spending your own money. To stop spending your own money, to put some things together and to make some connections with some financial institutions that can assist you in that. I would also plug Amaco Federal Credit Union. Coastal Federal Credit Union was our guest a couple of weeks ago, and they're just standing by waiting for you to call, you know, and just call and see what they offer, you know, and you would be surprised. But you got to make the call, just like you got that check. It's gonna be some more flowing. It's gonna be lots and lots more flowing. So we're gonna wind down. We thank you. If you're our viewer, if you're our listening audience, if you're our viewing audience, you know, thank you for tuning in with us today. Anybody want to close us out with some parting words? Anybody got anything that they want to share before we close out? Taj? Angela?
Never give up.
Okay.
Never give up.
Have a vision. Reach your goals. Be organized. Write it down, because one thing that I always say is that trying to achieve a goal without writing it down is just like almost walking blind.
Yes.
So definitely create a vision in that eyesight by writing down your goals And it also helps you hold yourself accountable, share with a friend, a family member that you trust that believes in you as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, that write it down thing. That's a biblical.
Yes.
That's a biblical. Write the vision, make it plain. Because when you do that, you can go back and see, and anyone that's coming behind you, you know, you want to pass that torch. They can pick that up from what you've written down and run with that thing. You know what I'm saying? So that is very important. And a business without a plan is a plan to fail. So think about that. That is so very important. Why do you think you see all these businesses that pop up? All these businesses that pop up, and in 6 months you don't see them anymore, because they started, they didn't have a plan, and it failed. They had business, but they didn't have the resources. They had business, but they had the vision. They didn't know how, you know, and so it fell off. And I tell people that all the time. If you don't write it down, if you don't have a plan, that's a plan to fail. That's a plan to fail. You were going to say something, Angela?
I was going to say, pursue your purpose and passion.
PPP.
PPP.
Pursue your purpose and passion. That is awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us on this segment of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce's Let's Talk Business podcast. And this is February, which is our Black History Month. And I think this has been time very well spent. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.